Now, is Raila Odinga being sabotaged internally within the ODM circles? That's the question which most Kenyans are currently asking. Because yesterday, the ODM party issued a statement over the KEMSA scandal. And in that statement, the ODM party attacked the Ruto President William Samoei Ruto badly. And they accused him of being jealous because for the first time, the Ruto President missed out on that scandal. But from the entire tone of the statement, one message was coming out very clearly, that the ODM party was actually trying to defend the KEMSA scandal. And that's why Kenyans are asking whether Raila Odinga is being sabotaged internally. Raila Odinga has always stood for reforms. He has always fought impunity. And that statement by ODM party yesterday shocked many Kenyans. And one guy on this platform sent me a WhatsApp message. It's called Joshua Shikuku. This is what Joshua Shikuku asked me. Why is Raila Odinga taking the responsibility of carrying the Jubilee corruption dirty baggage? The Ministry of Health bears a lot of that, supervised by Uhuru Kenyatta appointees. The KEMSA garbage stinks a lot. Sifuna is justifying this. He is asking, Raila is losing face. Now that's Joshua Shikuku. It was the first time I was getting a WhatsApp message from him. And then another friend of mine, a guy I know so well, called Maurice Wera. Maurice Wera also posted something on his Facebook page. And Maurice Wera is saying, the statement by the ODM Secretary General about embezzlement of COVID money was not necessary. Because I also felt that it was not necessary. Must ODM respond to every other issue? Is continuing, the public already has a formed opinion that that money was looted. Only an independent body can convince them otherwise. And I agree with Maurice Wera up to that point 100%. Kenyans believe that there was money for COVID and that money was looted. So the only way you can convince them is by an independent body coming with a clear proof that no money was lost. And Wera is continuing, whoever is seen to be giving a contrary opinion about this issue is deemed to be part of the looting cartel, not unless proven otherwise. And I also believe so. If you want to remain clean on this matter, the best thing for you to do is just to remain silent. Because the fact of the matter is, Kenya as a country received billions and billions and billions of shillings from partners, international and development partners. Locally, a lot of money were actually allocated to fight this pandemic. But up to now, not even a single mask has been bought for any single Kenyan. If you know any Kenyan who has benefited from a single mask, please let me have his name. I'll be willing to add him 2 more masks on my own account. Now let us go to the statement by Edwin Sifuna, because this is the basis of what we want to dissect. I want to go through this statement so that we can figure out whether Raila Odinga is being sabotaged internally or not. The statement is saying, and of course, before we go into that, the question which Kenyans are asking, who is really behind this series of press statements? What is the objective? Uhuru Kenyatta, for example, when the issue of revenue allocation came up, Uhuru Kenyatta never talked about that matter until on Friday. Uhuru Kenyatta, we've had this debate almost 4 weeks or 5 weeks now. Uhuru Kenyatta has not talked about it. Raila Odinga has issued statement after statement after statement over this particular revenue allocation formula. Uhuru has remained silent. When it comes to this particular KEMSA, my opinion was that Raila Odinga ought to have stood with the Kenyans so that if money was lost or was stolen, that should have been the basis of his statement. Forget about Ruto. Forget about responding to the deputy president. The deputy president is also just playing politics because he has seen opportunity. He was being accused of being the most corrupt individual in this country. And because this time around he was not part of the government and money has been lost, so you can't tell me that the deputy president doesn't have a right to actually celebrate that particular achievement. In my view, the deputy president had the right or has the right to celebrate that achievement. But why would ODM party take the blame on behalf of Jubilee Party? Let us go through this statement by ODM party. It's saying, in the past few days, there have been serious allegations leveled against the procurement and handling of COVID protective gears by KEMSA. Suffice to say that all Kenyans of goodwill have found these allegations disturbing and thoroughly demoralizing. And at a time when we are losing more lives to the virus. The fact of the matter is that when the news about the Jack Ma donation came up, and those donations just disappeared, Kenyans were very angry and Kenyans were very bitter. Then the news came that billions and billions of money had actually been received by the government from partners, international partners. This money could not be accounted for. Kenyans were very bitter and Kenyans were very angry. Up to that point, the ODM party is right. And when the news came that a few individuals, including close family members of the president, actually benefited unfairly from this pandemic, Kenyans were very bitter. And their bitterness were worsened actually by the fact that, for example, the donations which was brought to this country by Jack Ma never reached their destination, and this donation was taken back to government and they were purchased at highly inflated figures. So Kenyans have been very bitter up to that point. And up to that point, we agree with the ODM party. And we are saying we have restrained from responding to these allegations because of our desire to comment from an informed position. It's okay. ODM party can actually wait and respond only when they are sure, when they have informed opinion. But why are they even responding to this before they got that informed opinion? Why were they responding? Sometimes it's just better to remain silent. This statement by ODM party, in my view, was not necessary. They're continuing. We gather that the DCI has been called into KEMSA to investigate these matters. We, however, wonder how this can be so before a credible audit by the Auditor General is carried out to ascertain the veracity of these claims. Precedent has been set before where the media goes on a sensationalist extravaganza with half-baked information obtained from shadowy sources, ending up creating more problems than solution. I expect the ODM party to play their role as the official opposition in this country. That's the reality. But now trying to tell Kenyans how the media have been running around with information whose sources are not credible. I agree. The guy who was interviewed by NTV might not be credible. But that does not take away the fact that Jack Ma donated medical equipment to this country. If ODM party wants to play the role of the government, the best thing they could have done was to take the journalist to where Jack Ma donations are and tell them these are the donations which were received by Jack Ma, but the media have been writing different story. If they were serious, they should have told Kenyans that the government of Kenya received this money from this development partner, this money from this development partner. Then they go further and explain to Kenyans how those monies have been used if they want to purport to be part of the government. But they are not part of government. Why is ODM party assuming that they are part of the government of this country? They are not. So they must shut up. ODM party must shut up if they can't play their role. Kenyans are very bitter and they should not be cheated. And the statement is saying, I want you to listen. It is important to note that as far as the prices of PEP go, conventional wisdom must hold that such prices were lower before COVID ravaged the whole world, and any procurement happening in the current has to come with higher values. Higher prices alone cannot therefore be a basis for doubting the probability of those who undertake this task. I mean, why should ODM write this kind of nonsense? Why? The fact of the matter is that figures of these personal protective equipments were inflated. Of course, before the demands were high, before the demands started rising, there was a price. These things were being sold, of course. And because the demands became high, a problem arose. So there was emergency. But individuals within the government of the Republic of Kenya took advantage of that. And that's what I expect the ODM party to address. ODM party, especially through its Secretary General, does not have the capacity to lecture Kenyans. In my view, ODM party cannot lecture Kenyans on the costing of the PPEs. We know for sure that the PPEs we are talking about in this country were inflated. Of course, there's price variation. If one was costing, for example, 2,000, and unscrupulous traders decided to sell them or to sell them at 3,000 or 4,000, that's okay. But we are talking of a situation where procurement entities, the government agencies, saw an opportunity and decided to benefit unfairly. If ODM party wants to defend these people, they should come up with a list of everybody who supplied KEMSA. Tell KEMSA that these are the people who supplied us. Tell the entire country that according to the document we have, KEMSA procured this equipment from company A, company B, company B, C. And this is how they were paid, and this was the original cost, and because of these variations, they were paid this much. Instead of trying to tell Kenyans that we cannot judge this procurement, those who did business with them, because the cost was so high. A business person would, of course, want to benefit. You can buy a pen at 10 bob, but if someone is willing to give you 200 bob, you can sell that pen. That's true. But we are talking of a situation where government agencies, government officials saw an opportunity and created artificial shortages, imported some of these things through illegal means, then procured them illegally again through their companies. These are the issues which ODM party must address. Otherwise, I want to assume that ODM party is trying to defend these people. And that can only mean one thing, that it could be true that a few elements within ODM party actually benefited. Let's listen to what he's saying. Now, let's continue. It is saying, it is disheartening to hear no less a senior government official than the deputy president go public with a juvenile and improper statement that at least now nobody will blame me for stealing COVID funds. This statement suggests that it is okay for the funds to be stolen if it is not to be blamed, and even more unsettling, it expresses the jealousy of being left out of the gravy train. We have pointed out before that the DP's recalcitrance and lack of political emotional intelligence are hindrance to smooth running of government. At a time when he should help the president crack the whip on corruption cartels within government, he holds campaigns at his residence while cheering wrongdoing within government, in the mistaken belief that any perceived failure by President Uhuru Kenyatta will raise his dwindling profile. We must ask the DP to either rise to the occasion and play the role of the DP, or ship out and let the president work in peace. Which is okay. The deputy president indicated clearly that for the first time, he's not going to be blamed. I'm not disagreeing with ODM on that. They're also saying that the deputy president could be jealous because for the first time, he's missing on this scandal. I don't have a problem with that. But I have a problem with ODM party now telling the deputy president to take their role, to take his role as the deputy president seriously to help president. ODM party also has a role to play. The ODM party should actually be at the forefront in investigating what really transpired and tell Kenyans that indeed they lost money. And if they're in partnership with President Uhuru Kenyatta and they have an avenue of talking to President Uhuru Kenyatta, then that's what the ODM party should actually do, so that they shame the deputy president instead of trying just to respond to the deputy president. But the mere fact that ODM party are dragging his name when they should not drag his name, in my view, is not right at all. Let ODM play their roles. If the deputy president has decided not to play his role as the deputy president, then let ODM party play their role and only tell Kenyans that as ODM, we have done this, we have done this, we have done this in regards to this scandal. We've investigated, and this is how our investigations has led us to. Before the handshake, I'm sure today, ODM would have issued a statement. And in that statement, ODM party would have listed everything which Kenyans have actually been asking. So the ODM would be dealing with the problem of the handshake. I mean, with the problem, like they will be accused of undermining the government and blah, blah. But ODM party would have told Kenyans exactly what transpired. That's what they must continue doing. Now, they are continuing. We will keep raising any concern we have with the government operations, specifically COVID-related issues, through proper channel without unnecessary drama and hubris. And this is exactly what they are doing. What ODM has done, even in this statement, is to create drama. What Kenyans expect from ODM is very simple. What really transpired with the COVID money? Was that money lost? And if it was lost, who stole it? And why are they still working in government? I don't have a problem with ODM saying they don't want unnecessary drama, but they can't talk of unnecessary drama when this statement itself is a real drama. We continue to fulfill our mandate as exposed in ODM manifesto while remaining cognizant of our role as a unifying agent in Kenyan politics. We will therefore not join the condemnation bandwagon, but will keep probing and defending the right of Kenyans to get government services effectively and at the right process. For that reason, we ask the media houses and news agencies to exercise responsibility in their coverage, because sensational and baseless report may compromise international support for our COVID war, endangering ordinary Kenyans and not just the leaders. Any information of wrongdoing must be passed to the rightful agencies. You see what ODM is trying to tell Kenyans. Their fear is that international agencies might actually withdraw money. Why are they planning to withdraw their support? It's because they gave money and this money never reached their intended purpose. So why is ODM wanakula ile pilipili yenye sio yao? Let the government of the Republic of Kenya, led by President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy, tell Kenyans more about the COVID. ODM party should give Kenyans a break, especially on this particular matter. It is very disheartening that Raila Odinga is a man who has created his name and image over the years. Today, we are facing a serious matter. You know, health is a serious matter. Personally, I lost a friend to this COVID. I know so many people who are suffering to this COVID. But the fact is, the government is doing nothing Today, even the contact tracing is not happening. Nothing is happening. You go to hospital, you foot your own bill. Government receives billions and billions and billions. And this money found its way into the pockets of a few individuals. Please, ODM party, give Kenyans a break if you want Kenyans to take you seriously. But I want to believe that someone is actually sabotaging Raila Odinga within the ODM party. Thank you guys, and please, may you enjoy your day.